Here we have my 2005 Td4 Land Rover Freelander. Got 119,000 miles on it. Just had a clutch. It's 3 owners, including myself. Common things for going wrong on them are concentric slave cylinder. It's made of cheese, not literally, it's actually made of plastic, which kind of dissolves. That's what actually went wrong with this. The concentric slave cylinder exploded. It's now on its 3rd clutch. There's an LUK clutch fitted to it about 2 months ago. I've not had problems with the engine, but I have heard, of EGR faults, but then that's quite common with any car. Any vehicle, it doesn't really matter these days. EGR fault seems to be quite common. For a 2005, it's fairly high spec. It's a facelift model. No real rust about it or anything like that. To be fair, up here in the Highlands, rust's a big issue. We have a lot of salt in the roads. I bought this particularly for driving up gravel tracks and that. I do a lot of work off-road at farms and that, so they're fairly solid. The roof comes off. You can make it into a soft top if you wanted. I prefer the hard top myself. I haven't taken the top of it. The back door, they're always rusty. Anything after 10 years is going to have this rust at the back. What actually happens is it blows this out and water goes in here, breaks the cable behind the window, and then the window fails to work. There's no tow bar on this one either because I didn't bother putting one on. I do have one for it, but I don't really do a lot of towing, so I haven't seen the need to put it on. I did write a wee bit of a list here to just say what's actually things can go wrong in that, diff mounts, it's serviceable item. Prop shaft, serviceable item, the same as anything. The bolster and the seats, they're all like that. Every single one I've had the pleasure to own has had problems with bolsters. Steering wheel wear as well. All the ones I've had with that. Anything over 100,000, you're going to get this kind of wear on the steering. I've just put a cover over the top of it. People have had problems with central locking. I haven't had problems with any of the central locking in this thing. All good. Also, another common problem is the linkage, gearbox linkage. I believe there is a kit you can buy to fix that. It's not an issue on this one, so it's not something I'm looking at doing. Like I say, it's not something I'm looking at doing. Another wee point is rear door handles. They're made of plastic, screwed onto the body with an actuator behind it. The actuator goes wrong and then you end up with problems with the door. It won't open, the window won't drop. This one doesn't have that problem, luckily. As I say, the only real rust on that is at the back there. It's going to need to be addressed soon before it starts letting in water. They start fairly well. People say that the petrols are useless and that's just not true. I've had one fail with a head gasket. Some idiot decided to remove the thermostat, so you didn't actually know it was overheating and the head gasket went. Noticed the loss of water first and then misfiring and various other things. As I say, they are pretty good machines. For what they are, they're a small SUV, quite sporty. To keep up with the likes of the Suzuki Vitara and such like. I did point out that you have problems with the clutch master cylinder. Well, as I say, I've got one of the clips around here. I can just maybe just show you what it looks like. 2 seconds. That's the clip there, just goes on the clutch pedal. What tends to happen is the plastic bits tend to break, and then it starts making a noise, a horrible clicking noise. The tyres on this are just really on-road tyres, you know. I don't really use it off-road at all. Gravel roads mainly. I think I mentioned about the headlights clouding over, but you can always polish them up. The only problem with polishing them, it doesn't tend to last. But hey ho, good point about it. BMW diesel engine, usually fairly good. Although I have heard of folk having problems with injectors and stuff like that. Power steering pumps tend to be bad on them. End up start to leak and start losing fluid and just a general pain in the neck. This one doesn't have that problem. So all good. We'll jump in and give it a start. Oh.
Bluetooth mode.
The other bad thing I would notice about it is that when you've got the windows down and you want to wash your front windscreen, you tend to notice that the jets fire water at the windscreen, and your wipers wipe them inside the car. Then it goes down the inside of the doors and breaks the bloody wire for the electric window mechanism, making the window not work. As you can see, this one works fine. Here's that one too. Sunroof. This one doesn't leak. They do leak. Not this particular one, but the ones I've had have leaked. This one's okay. I would say it's not been. It's been well looked after. Back windscreen washer. Cup holders with a wee clock. It's Land Rover's own stereo. I've not bothered to change it. I've just hooked up a cheap USB kit to it. All round, good going vehicle. I mean, they get a bad rep. I don't know why. They're not any worse than any other second-hand vehicle on the market, you know. It's pretty quiet for a 2-litre diesel, you know. But we're not talking, you know, Porsche money here, you know. We're talking. I mean, I spent £1,200 on it. So, as I say, we're not talking massive amount of money, like. And to be fair, for a lot of 4x4, which is what it is, it's quite good. You know, as I say, they get a bad press. They shouldn't.